So I'm a kind of a sucker for new spray guns. So I saw these at Harbor Freight. They had this one, and they have the one called the Black Widow. I was deciding whether I should buy the Black Widow or this one. Kind of looked at them, and I'm not sure anybody really know the difference. So I'll open it with you guys first time. I've never opened this. I don't know. It just looked like a pretty good, well-made spray gun for the price, and I kind of want one to shoot base coat with, and to shoot some single stage urethane. So I thought I'd buy one of these and check it out. Their other Proline gun is pretty good too. The one that's $69. My friend uses one of those every day, and it actually sprays it pretty decent. Unlike the cheap one is cheap. It works, but these are supposed to be pretty well made. For $100 for a if you buy it, the normal price is like $129.99 right now. I just didn't see that the Black Widow was $219, $100 more in it. I thought that since they're both HTEs, it might be a pretty good deal to go with this one versus the Black Widow, which had that coating on it like the Technos Pro Light does. Let me get some light on this. You guys can't see very good, can you? Yeah, that background lighting was just kind of messing things up. So this is the new HTE now. So I was just doing some research on HTE. It feels like it's pretty well made. I was doing some research on HTE versus HVLP, and the difference really is the HTE is a high efficiency transfer. Do like this gun so far. I'll tell you why. They see these threads right here, nice and coarse, so that the paint, when it gets on there, it doesn't clog it up, so it's easier to keep clean. And it has this style setup here, so that it doesn't have a taper on taper fit like the cheaper guns do. So it's probably worth spending the extra money to get at least this one. I don't know if that's plastic. It might be. Feels like it might be. But so it might wear out, which might be not so good. Or it might just be that material it feels really lightweight. I don't know, I think it is aluminum. Look, you can see inside there, there's in the holes. Looks like you can see aluminum inside there. So, it's probably got that coating on it that doesn't allow the paint to stick to it very easily. So it might be easier to keep clean. So I think this might be good enough for base coat. So I might shoot something with it. It does have, I thought it might have an inside thread for this, so it has an outside thread. So what I'll do is I'll go rape something off one of my other guns, and then we'll clean this up and take a look at it. Of course, when you buy them new, always clean them, because sometimes they have packing oil inside of them. So I'm going to clean the gun out before I use it. So it's got like two different settings here. You got this. Well, that's for your, okay, that's just your spray volume. And then your fans over here, like that. And this should be narrow. Wide open. Kind of like a SATA. So, maybe they just took the design from them. But yeah, it feels pretty nice on your hand. Yeah, I thought this might be kind of good to have for a second gun, or to really like a third or fourth gun, really. But, and okay, back to the HTE. So the reason, apparently what the issue is in most states that don't allow anything other than HVLP is it has to be 65% high efficiency, has to be 65% or more efficiency transfer. So the HTE is 65% or more, and so is the HVLP. Now, I don't know. You better check your regulations for whatever state you're in. I don't even know if this is legal in California, but you know, I think it is, because it is 65%. So it should be. Let's just pretend it is. What do you guys say? So anyway, the pot, the plastic, the kind of plastic it is, if you guys can't go to the store to try it, it's one of the reasons I got it, because I didn't want to buy one online, because some of them, you know, you don't know what you're going to get. The pot, the plastic feels like the better quality plastic, unlike the cheap guns. It feels like it'll handle some thinner. Some people I noticed online, they said that this is going to leak because the threads are coarse. I think the opposite. I think it won't leak because the threads are coarse, and it's got a quarter turn takeoff. Pretty nice. Because what happens is the finer threads, what happens is they're harder to get clean, and when you have, you know, paint and debris inside there, it stays in there, versus when you can get it cleaned out, you know, because the threads are more coarse, it might be easier to keep clean, and it does tighten up good. So I'm going to say this is probably not bad the way it comes out of the box. Let's give it a shot. We'll shoot some hubcaps with it. Figured I had my hubcaps to do, and I didn't really want to use my Technipro light. And let's see if the fan's narrow enough with a 1.3. I think that'll be good for base coat. And it could be even good for clear too. But I don't know if I'm going to use it for clear. Probably just use my Techna. All right, let's check it out. All right, so what I failed to mention again on the HTE, I was going to explain, is what happens is that HVLP has larger holes here. So they use a larger amount of air, volume of air. So the HTE is supposed to be less air, but the same amount of efficiency transfer. So it's the better technology. So that's why I went with HTE. Let's see how it sprays. All right, so I've got this thing set up here. Got it all set up with, I'm using Axo Nobel Grip Guard, which is their sign finish division. Axo Nobel also makes, right? That's up a little high. Whoa. Well, it's 30 pounds. I think $15 ought to be more than enough for this small of a thing. This gauge is off. Oh, this gauge is off. It shouldn't. Like that was 25 or 30. Sorry about that. I'm not used to using this gauge. I used to use a digital gauge on my other gun. 20 seems about right. That's how I knew it wasn't. I knew it wasn't right. I had originally had 2 turns out. Right at 1.5. 1 3/4. Notice there's no markings on the fan. That's kind of a bummer. So like, let's try narrowing it down a little bit. It's pretty wide, it's really good. Actually, I think it's a really good spray gun. Instead of using a spray, you know, doing a piece of paper, I was just using the inside of the hubcaps just so you guys think, oh yeah, you'd have never sprayed before. It's like, dude, I can just grab a spray gun and set it up any way I want, and I just start spraying with it, and then I get used to it after a few minutes. I don't have to go and spray it on paper every time I go to use it. That's just because, you know, when you've been doing something for years, that's the way you get used to just grabbing it and going. Right, so what I did is, what I'm doing right there, just so you guys know, I'm actually just barely pulling the trigger and dry coating this edge so that I can coat it again in a minute. I'm just kind of letting it set for a second. It's actually really hard to paint that edge, believe it or not. I'm just making sure that there's nothing that just got stuck on there from me doing the other side of the hubcap. I'm not really, I did tack rag these. I'm not really worried about whether there's a little bit of dust or debris in them. They're down low in the car. It's not a show car. I'm just painting some hubcaps, and I just want to check out this gun. We'll talk about it when I'm done. Okay, that was one turn out, and it sprayed pretty good. I had the paint a little bit thin, because then again, like, I wasn't sure about the 1.3 and how it was going to go through that tip. It seems to go through it really nice. This is single stage urethane satin, so it's going to dry satin. We'll give this about a 5-minute flash time. I'll bring you guys back in. So it's been about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and it's ready to go because there's a little bit of breeze right now, and I don't have the paint quite as heavy as I usually do, so it's a little thinner. Let's shoot another coat on here. I'm gonna go ahead and open it up to let's see, I think 1 3/4 turns. Let's give it another shot. Oh, looks like I lost my pauser. I don't know where I lost you guys. But that was that. Second coat was that. Whatever that is there, I'll check that with the, I'll get that cleaned up real quick. I don't usually use this gauge, so this is from a gun that I don't use much. Alright, so let's check this thing with a different gauge. That gauge is funky. I was going to say it sounded like I was shooting at 60 pounds than I was. I listen to the sound. That's 28 pounds. This is a good gauge here. Not the one I usually use, but that's 28 pounds. Let's listen to this. Let's take it, shoot it again. 28 pounds. I knew that didn't sound right. I just know from experience, I hardly ever look at my gauge because I just know how it sounds. And that's, alright, so 25 pounds, 20 pounds, 25 pounds, right in there. That's more about where I'm usually spraying. And then with my Techna, I'll spray it at 15, which is about right there. But it sounds different. So on the Techna, I always need to gauge with that gun. So let's see how this thing sprays. I'll put one more coat on. We'll check it at 15. All right, so let's even see it. So it sprays at 15. Well, I'm going to say that doesn't spray too bad even at 15 pounds. It's not quite, let's say it's not quite as clean, smooth as my Techna Pro Light. Not quite, but let's take a look at it. So it's still, you know, of course I just got done spraying these, so it's going to flow out a little bit more. There's a little bit of orange peel in all of it. There's always going to be at that lower pressure. So this definitely sprays a finer spray than the cheap Harbor Freight gun, the $9.99 one. Definitely extremely better than that. Did get one bug right there. That's all I was trying to pick out. But I realized it was just going to get worse. So sometimes you just got to call it. So anyway, really, you know, I think it's, so far, you know, I won't know until I've really sprayed something big with it, really. But just from the feel of it and how that atomizes, just what I can tell, I'm sure and you could see if you turned it down to 15 pounds, you really get a very small amount of overspray. So that's kind of good as far as that goes. If you were going to, you know, spray something outside or somewhere where you're worried about other things, you know, like a LVLP type situation where you're trying to do very low pressure and trying to keep the overspray down, even get like 80 to 90% transfer efficiency, you could probably do it with that gun. It's, like I said, with the Techna Pro Light, I can spray it at 9 pounds and it'll still spray about as good as this one does at 15. So, you know, it's definitely a better gun. As far as this is the HE and that's the HVLP. It's not really the HVLP, it's a TE20, which is similar to, you know, it's in the HVLP range. It's kind of an HE LVLP kind of, or HVLP and HE right in there. It's kind of between those two. So that's what the TE20 is for the, yeah, so it does spray pretty good. I mean, it's definitely good for base coat. I would say clear would be pretty good too. And if you use it at full pressure, but if you're using it at 15 pounds, like what I'm normally spraying, when I'm spraying something that's not in a booth, I don't know, it doesn't make as much of a cloud as the Techna Pro Light does at 15 pounds. At the Techna Pro Light at 15 pounds makes a lot of cloud. You know, you can barely see. I mean, you can see, but at 30 pounds, it's really, or 28 pounds, I don't ever spray that high, but at 28 pounds, the Techna Pro Light's really makes a lot of overspray. Or not overspray, but like real fine mist. It's just a really fine mist, and you can barely see if you're spraying something in a garage or something like that. And you have to have a big compressor, where this gun, because it's an HTE, you know, you could spray with that with the, you know, in a garage or something like that, or a smaller compressor, and it's not going to use as much air. I don't know. You know, even I wonder if even the LVLP or the HVLP, the cheap purple guns, they don't use that much air either, that I noticed. This gun doesn't either. It's kind of like in that, you know, as far as not using a lot of air in that range. It's totally a different gun than that gun. This does spray a lot finer. I can just tell that. So yeah, I'd say that's pretty good. Not bad. I'll use it. I think it's a great gun for the price. For $100, you know, I'd say it's, you know, if I sprayed this at 28 pounds, I think I could have definitely laid it down with no orange peel at all. I left it, you know, a little bit just because I just wanted to compare it to what I usually do. So I wasn't trying to blow it. I'm not trying to blow a perfect no orange peel finish on these. It's not going to matter because it's satin, so it's going to come out like, you know, semi not shiny. It's going, when these dry, they'll be satin finish, so it's not going to be shiny at all. So they'll look perfect for that. So anyway, I would say it's definitely not a bad gun for $100. You know, I might try the Black Widow. What do you guys think? Tell me. Should I try the Black Widow? It's a little more money. You know, that's 220 bucks. And then you drop a coupon like I did on this. I dropped a coupon on this, and it was 114 out the door. They do have coupons periodically where it's $99 plus tax, so that would be a bit less than that. But, you know, I didn't really want to look for one of those or wait. I thought today would be a good day. I needed to paint some hubcaps. I didn't really want to use my Tecna. I didn't want to have to worry about it if it get dirty. The things that I do like about it are this right here. This part right here being coarse threads. I do like that this is coarse threads up here because it's easier to clean. This does have a similar air cap to like the premium guns do. We see how this is the let's take a look at one. Sorry, I'm saying air cap and I'm thinking nozzle. This is the air cap. This is a nozzle from a Tecna Pro Light. Okay, and this is the nozzle that's on here. So it has that same kind of a design. But you see how many more holes that the Tecna Pro Light has in it? So, and it's to give you more airflow through it. So it's designed a little bit better. I mean, the reason these are 400 bucks, and you know, Tecna Pro Light's 400 and some odd dollars, and you get 3 air caps. You get a 1.3, a 1.2, I think, and a 1.4, you know, and you get, I think, I got a TE10 and a TE20 with mine air cap. It's really lightweight, by the way. Is because you know, it's a better spray gun. They really are. You know, if you get a premium gun, it's going to be better than the cheap one. You know, so don't expect you're going to get a Harbor Freight, you know, Spectrum that's you know, a mid-grade gun, and you're going to get, you know, a premium gun with it. It's a premium Harbor Freight gun, and it's probably really, it seems to spray really good, but it does not spray as good as a premium gun like the, you know, the DeVilbiss Tecna Pro Light, or like Iwata Supernova, you know, or one of those premium guns that are really expensive. It's going to spray way better than the cheap one that you get from Harbor Freight, but not quite as good as these. But I'm going to say, if you have a car that's not like this, a VW bus, now you spray that tall, flat panel with that spray gun, and you spray it with the Tecna Pro Light, and you're talking about with clear coat, you're going to have a lot less orange peel to smooth out. It's going to be smoother, I'm sure, but, you know, would it get the job done? Could you color sand and buff it and make it look as good? Potentially you could, okay, with this gun, versus if you used the cheap one from Harbor Freight, you know, the one that's 10 bucks or whatever. You probably, even after color sanding it with 600 grit first and then working your way up to 2000, you would probably still see on a surface that flat, you would probably still see orange peel, okay, even after it's color sanded with a block and everything, you know, because you have to get a pretty darn smooth finish to get something to look smooth. Let's look at something a little bit smoother. So to get to this smooth of a finish, you can see there's really not much for orange peel in there, okay? This is after it's been color sanded and buffed. If you use the cheaper spray gun to get it to this, it's not going to get here. It just won't get there. It won't look that smooth. So, you know, if you're spraying something really difficult, really flat, you might want to spend the extra money and buy the good gun. So yeah, this is leveling out pretty nice. You can see it's starting to get pretty smooth. Not much orange, just a little bit orange peel in there because I shot it a little bit, probably shot it a little bit dry on the first coat, which doesn't help. So I'm kind of getting used to the gun. But I'm going to tell you, if I was spraying that VW bus, it was smoother than that with if I used the Tecna Pro Light. I mean, it's just the bottom line. But anyway, for $100, you know what? Am I thrilled about it? Yeah, I think it's great. I'll buy another one for $100, or I might even buy the Black Widow just for fun. I don't know if it's really worth the $220. I think that this gun might be pretty close to that one. I don't know. I haven't tried it yet, but you know, if I was going to buy one, this gun's definitely worth the money. The other one, is it really going to be worth $220? I'm not sure. Maybe if you got the coupon on it, got for $179, maybe then it might be worth it. I don't know. You know, it's kind of in that, well, you know what, should I just buy a premium gun? If you don't have a premium gun, if you want it as a second gun, I think it's a great deal. For $100, I think it's a great deal. If you really want a premium gun, just buy a premium gun. Buy a Technopro Light. They're $4 and a quarter, $4.50 or something like that, with all the heads on it, spray, you know, and everything, and then you'll have a premium gun. Use that for your clear coat. If you want to spend a little more money, get the Iwata Supernova. That's even a better spray gun. Possibly you maybe get just a tinge better finish. You can still color sand and buff it and get it up there. You know, if you want to spend even more money, a Iwata 5000. You know, then you're into about the best as they get, from what I understand. But you know, I've never used one, and I'm not going to spend that much money. I can get a nice finish with a Technopro Light and color sand and buff it up to just about any finish I want. So would I buy that? I don't think so. Not for me. But if you're in a body shop, you know, and you're shooting stuff every day, that extra half an hour, you know, of color sanding and buffing, you know, that you're going to save, it's going to be worth it to have the better gun. So, you know, it depends on what you're doing. If you're just working at home, you know, this gun's probably great. You'd be shooting out some stuff, making stuff look wonderful with this. So I'd say it's a good deal. Talk to you in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hopefully this helps you out on your purchase.